Hello and welcome back to yet another Amazon Seller Journey session. We are on a roll with these today. And I'm very happy to be joined by Ben, who, yeah, I mean, you've had some trouble recently with your TikTok, so I don't know what name to use. Is it Neb's Biz? Is that the one?
Neb's Biz, yeah,
Neb's
that's the
Biz.
one.
And
Neb's Biz.
what happened to your other TikTok account?
So that one got banned because I was doing some other like faceless TikToks and I violated policy somehow, but they didn't tell me how. So that one got banned, and because that one got banned, every account that was linked to my phone also got banned, and I've not been able to get any of them back. So
That sucks.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, since you've started your new TikTok, like, has building up a following been harder than it was the first time, or are you like nearly there in terms of followers and things?
Well, it's been slower, but I've not been posting as many videos because I've just literally finished uni. I finished uni on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I've had the last like 2 months so I did the typical thing, left all the work too late. So I've had a lot of work to do the last 2 months. So I've not been posting as much, but I'll start doing more
What
now I'm
is it?
finished.
What is it that what is it that you've been studying at uni?
Business management and marketing.
Business management. Nice. So I mean, this will go hand in hand with like
Yeah,
what you're doing Amazon wise as well, won't it?
yeah.
Did
Sort of. I mean, in the stuff I've learned is all pretty useless to be honest.
all of the work that you've been doing in the last 2 months, was it just like the sheer volume of work that you had to do, or was it stuff that was like challenging?
I'd say it's more volume because I just left stuff too late.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't. Some of it was more challenging than others, but it was more the volume. Yeah, definitely more the volume.
Sorry, lecturers. I was busy making a killing on Amazon, so I had to leave it to
Yeah, something
that.
like that. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so just tell us a little bit about you, about how you discovered the Amazon opportunity, and also a little bit as well about how you got started, if you wouldn't mind.
So I actually started Amazon about like 2 years ago now. I think I started with one of my friends, and we actually started out completely wrong. So for the first like 3 months or so, we were just selling on private label listings because
Hmm.
but we thought we were doing wholesale. So I
Yeah.
was buying stuff from Alibaba, sending it in, and I was actually selling on, as I said, private label listings. So like the first product I sold for like a month and a half. It was air fryer liners.
Yeah.
I was making like 20 quid a day, and then eventually got kicked off, and I had no idea why. So I just did the same thing with these dancing cactus toys, and the first two, so I bought about 200 of them for £700, which I borrowed off my dad,
Hmm.
um, and I made £450 profit in the first 3 days of that product, and I was like, this is mental. But then what started happening? So the seller, I don't really know what he was doing, but I'd wake up in the morning and it would say my total sales for the day were £1,600, and then around halfway through the day it'd go back down to zero, and then it'd go back up to 1,600. So I think what they were doing was buying all my stock and then cancelling it and then buying it again. I think, but I don't really know if they can even do that. But that was the thing for like 3 months. No, not 3 months. Sorry, like 3 weeks. And then yeah, ended up getting kicked off. Lucky not to lose my Amazon account, I think, selling on private label listings. But yeah, ended up selling the rest of them on eBay and just about broke even overall.
So the dancing cactus wasn't the one. I mean, it could have been the one, just if it wasn't private
Uh,
label listed.
yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was the one, yeah, but I wasn't allowed to be on the listing, so so yeah, sorry. I say so after that happened, I this is around my 21st. So for my 21st birthday, I got, do you know Jack's Amazon Club,
Yes.
the mentoring?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got his mentoring for my 21st. That was like year and a half ago now. So yeah, and then just been doing wholesale ever since,
Mhm.
not private label.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny, isn't it, what you end up selling? Because like, I don't know if you had like an idea of like, oh, I'd love to, go into the, this and sell in this particular category. Um, these sorts of things. Or did you go in like fairly open-minded with, I'm just going to look for anything that'll make me a profit? So like, did you expect when you started out, at some point, I'm going to sell a dancing cactus?
Nah, well, I didn't really have any idea, to be fair. I thought I'd be like selling my own stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I thought Amazon was when I first started. But I've even sold at one point. I sold they're these little balls that you put in your garden, and they're
Right.
like lion poo scented. They're like to keep cats out your garden and stuff.
Right.
That was a while ago, but yeah, yeah, you sell some weird stuff.
I find it really fascinating the sorts of things that you discover like through Amazon, like just products that you did not know existed. Like there's something for everything. Yeah, it's crazy what you find. Like I didn't know that was a thing. I know there's like
Yeah,
deterrents for this, that, and the other, but I did not know there was some balls that you can put in your garden to keep cats away.
and they smell of lion poo. So yeah,
And
it's weird.
did they do well? Do you know?
Well, I was actually again, I was doing them wrong. I was selling on a 2 pack listing, but I was only selling it as one pack. So this
Yeah.
was again near the start. Like, well, I made a lot of mistakes throughout, but yeah, they did all right. And then I eventually realised I should be giving the customer double of what I was giving them. So
Mhm.
I had to stop.
And obviously, since all of that, when you were starting out, you say that you have been doing wholesale ever since. What made you go for the wholesale route um, as opposed to like online arbitrage or retail arbitrage?
I mean, it was literally just because I did the Jack's Amazon Club mentoring, and that was just what they taught. So
Yeah.
that's what I went. That's the route I
Right.
went down.
So like a yeah, so like a recommended route. It's probably best that you should go down the wholesale way, and so that's just what you
Yeah,
yeah. And in terms of
yeah.
like branching out and reaching out to like suppliers and such, how did you find that? Was it a bit of like hit or miss? Was it like trial and error? Or did you find it fairly straightforward?
Definitely a bit of trial and error. I feel like the more you do it, the better at it you get.
Hmm.
Um, I sort of say the same thing to every single brand or supplier I call now. I've got like not like a script because you don't know what's going to happen on the phone call, but
Yeah,
like a sort of script, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
I try and follow.
Something with like key
Yeah.
points on it, so that way you remind yourself of things that you should
Yeah.
mention on the call.
Yeah. Make sure I try and keep myself sounding professional.
Um, for anyone that's like looking to get into the wholesale route, and obviously, one of the key things to get started with that is, of course, reaching out to suppliers and getting in contact with them, building up a partnership with them. Do you have any tips
Yeah.
for anyone that's like starting out and they're contacting and they're maybe finding it a bit tough, like things that you would say, yeah, definitely mention X, Y, and Z, and definitely don't mention X, Y, and Z, anything like that?
I mean, I'd say just start calling. What's the worst that can happen? You'll call them and they'll say no. Put the
Hmm.
phone down and like call the next one. Like nothing bad can come from it. Um, in terms of things to say, one is some suppliers don't like Amazon sellers,
Yep.
so I try and avoid saying that I'm an Amazon seller unless they ask me directly. Then I'll be honest because I don't want to lie to them. But unless they ask, I don't actually mention that I sell on Amazon.
Yeah. Do you know
Something, yeah.
why
But
that's the case? Because I've tried to look into it before because I know that it is a thing, but I don't actually understand why. Like, do you know why?
I've got no idea. Honestly, no idea. Couldn't tell you.
No, just allergic to Amazon
But
sellers.
there's something. Yeah, they don't like them.
Yeah. Do you have any other sort of like tips for anyone that's getting started with wholesale in general?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say just be patient. Like when I first started, I was expecting to. I think that a lot of people on the social media that do Amazon FBA, they make it out to be a lot easier than it is. You got to be patient. Like for my first product, it took me like two months, I think, to actually find it.
Hmm.
It's not a get rich quick scheme, but you stay consistent, you're gonna find something eventually.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I'd say just it takes time,
Yeah.
but it's worth it because yeah, definitely worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there is such thing really as a legitimate get rich quick scheme.
No.
I think it often in terms of Amazon, I think it often gets like misunderstood, misinterpreted. Like it's not get rich quick, but you can get
Mm,
rich through basically just more so hard work at the beginning, and then as time goes on, like you can then start to automate certain functions in your business. Like you can get
yeah,
assistants, you get softwares to help you. Then you can sort of like take your hands off the wheel just like a little bit. Um,
yeah.
And I think that's why it gets misinterpreted. I know, would you say that's fair?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you could get really lucky and you could find like one wholesaler which has 10 banging products and you could literally get rich quick. But that it's not the case, but it could happen.
Yeah.
But a little bit down to luck, that'll be, I reckon. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. And besides the big one with joining private label listings,
Yeah.
is there any other sort of like notable like mistakes that you'd say you've made? And if so, how did you get round those, if there is anything else?
Yeah, so one would be I always used to forget to do dummy shipments before I actually made like test orders.
Hmm.
So I must have done it maybe 6, 7 times. Um, I've bought a test order and not done a dummy shipment, and then I've packed it all up, gone to send it off, and then UPS don't actually. It's like it was hazmat or something, I think. So UPS can't actually send it to Amazon, so I've just been stuck with them at my house. Can't actually sell them. So yeah, do dummy shipment plans before every test order. That's what I say.
Anything that you get stuck with, whereby like you can't send it off to Amazon, for example, like what do you end up doing with it in the end? Do you sort of like flog it on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or something like that?
It sort of depends. If depends how expensive it is. If I've lost like a decent amount of money, I'll try and flog it. But like some of them, to be fair, were only like 20, 30 pound shipments. So and they were like gardening products. So I just give them to my mum to use.
I bet you've
Yeah.
got a happy mum, don't you?
Well, sometimes depends on how much random stuff I've got lying around the house. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So I guess for your mum, it's a bit like Christmas in a sense is all year round. Like she could just wake up one day and then you go, "Hey, I've got some balls that you can put in your garden to deter cats."
Yeah, Christmas or a nightmare, I guess.
Yeah.
But one depends if she likes it.
Yeah. Obviously talking about just sort of like going back to something that you said about how you for your birthday you sort of like gifted the Jack's Amazon Club course. Um
Yeah,
would you so how important would you say it is for one to one to take a course like that? Like, would you say it's very important that someone, goes through a course to learn Amazon? Or would you say it's something that you only really need to do if you feel like you really need it? Or would you say, mm, go for as many free
um,
things as possible? Like,
I
what would you say about courses? Like, for anyone that might be thinking, do I need a course or is it more of a want than a need?
I personally would say definitely worth getting a course, but just be careful with who you go with. Like Jack's Amazon Club, like it's good. It's a good course. It's very expensive, but it is a very good course, and you know what you're going to get with him.
Yeah,
But then there are a lot of like gurus on TikTok that'll be just lying about what they make on Amazon and selling a course, and they don't actually know what they're talking about.
yeah,
So just be careful with who you choose. But yeah, I would definitely say get mental help because it just speeds up the process like
yeah,
so much. Because you're gonna have to make so many mistakes and like lose money by making those mistakes. But with a mentor, you can just skip all of that and get to it. And before people start, I don't sell mentoring, so I'm not pushing it for that reason. But yeah, I would definitely say get a mentor. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, when it comes to courses and things like that, I say something very similar to anyone that sort of like pops those questions to me. I mean, I think I mean, free things. I'd say most free things out there are great. I mean, there's so many sources now, um, in this day and age, like in the Amazon field alone. Like there's YouTube, TikTok. There's so many different forums, um, and all sorts. And so, like for me, I would say most free resources are good ones. And then
Yeah.
a bit like what you say, like the money that you could lose through mistakes, you could actually just put into a course to begin with and
Yeah.
then not
Yeah.
make those mistakes and just lose that money. At least it's going to something that helps you. So yeah, really,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like it's definitely something that has a lot of value. If you feel like you really need it and if you go with the right one, because a bit like what you said,
Yeah.
um, you got to be really careful about who you choose. And I would say like it's someone that you can see, um, has a rapport, they have credibility. Like they might have a website,
Yeah,
they might have a really good like TikTok channel or YouTube. Like you can tell they know what they're talking about. You get some like tips from their stuff, and you think, you know what, if I could have like an in-depth session, it would really help me. And you can see the
yeah,
experience. Um,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and a bit like you say, there's a lot of people out there that aren't like that, yet they make a course anyway. I
yeah.
mean, like hats off if you feel that you've got the ball rolling really well with Amazon, maybe like 2, 3 months in, but it's not long enough to have had enough experience, then, educate people in depth to sort
Yeah,
of cover everything they need to know for getting started. So I completely agree
yeah,
with what you say there. Obviously, people will see this from your TikTok. We are going to link Ben's socials in the description, and we'll talk a bit about that at the end as well. But on your TikTok, you also talk about other ways of making a digital income. And one of the
yeah,
ones I saw was through TikTok. So would you mind just
yeah.
like talking us through some of the other ways one can make a digital income? How to do that, like other great things to try maybe on the side of Amazon.
Yeah, yeah. So TikTok, there's two main ones. So you do like I do like faceless TikTok accounts. So like say like you'll see them on your For You page. So like a quiz that comes up with no one's face in it. It's just an AI voiceover.
Yeah.
And they have to be a minute long videos. And you have to have the thing is with them, you have to have over 10,000 followers. That's the hard part, getting the 10,000 followers. But once you have it, depending on your RPM, at the minute it's like 50p for 1,000 views.
Mhm.
So it can do well. But the easiest money on TikTok by far is TikTok Shop. You literally all you have to do is make a TikTok seller account, and you're supposed to have like 5,000 followers, but you don't actually need it. You can do it with zero. I've got
Mhm.
two accounts which both start with zero. And literally all you do is post the video. You don't even have to have the products in your hand. You can just tag them. So you literally find products on the shop, tag them in your videos, and then every time someone buys that from your link, then you get commission. So like if you get and TikTok literally push the TikTok shop videos out because they're trying to compete with Amazon.
Mhm.
So it's easy to get views and it's quite easy to get sales. I mean, it's not easy, but I mean, it is quite easy considering the amount of work you have to put in. I post like 5 or 6 videos a day on my TikTok shop channel, but like the videos take maximum like a minute to make. It's
Mhm.
really easy.
So
Yeah.
at no point do you have to like handle the products. It's literally just a link and someone buys through the link and that
Yeah.
comes from, whoever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not like because when you started explaining it, so it started to sound a little bit like drop shipping, but it's not.
No, no, no,
No.
not at all. You don't touch the product at all unless like you have the product in your hand to do a review on it for a
Yeah.
video. But in terms of when the customer buys the product from your link, like you do nothing. Like comes from wherever it comes from, and it goes straight to their house. All you literally do is post a video with the product in the link, and then you get commission.
Mhm. And like from as you say, you've got a couple of accounts like dedicated to that sort of thing. Have you found quite a bit of success from doing that, or is it a bit of a slow burner?
Yeah, no, I mean it's nothing crazy. Like it's like I'm making sort of 300 to 500 a month, maybe TikTok shop around that. Like it's nothing crazy, but
Yeah.
I mean it's not bad, is it? And it literally takes, as I said, maximum 10 minutes a day to
Yeah.
post the videos. And I'm gonna try and start putting a bit more effort into them now that I've got more time.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can see set more sales start to come in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's 300 to 500 quid that you
My-
it's 300 to 500 quid that you might not have had otherwise. Just 10 minutes a day equals 300 to 500 quid a month
Yeah,
as extra. Like that's not bad
yeah,
going at all. Um, and with
yeah, and it can go a lot more than that.
yeah, I mean, I guess in that sense, it's similar to Amazon. It depends on how much work you put into it. It depends on what products you find and things like that. So, would you say that it's something that's relatively easy to do alongside of selling on Amazon?
Yeah, definitely. But it's the easiest side hustle I've found. I mean, it just depends how many views your videos get for the sales. Because if you end up with millions of views, you're going to make a lot of money. But if you don't get many views, then you're not going to get many sales. So you sort of sort of have to know how to get views, but not really because like some of the videos I post are terrible. Like I just post a caption, takes 5 seconds, and they've ended up with like 100,000 views, and I've literally taken 5 seconds to make. Like, yeah, I'd definitely say try it out. Like it doesn't take much time, and you don't even have to spend any money at all to start. So
And like with what you earn from like Amazon, TikTok Shop, and so forth, um, do you find it easy to then distribute the money that you earn? So, like for example, how much you put into like your budget for Amazon, how much you know pocket for yourself. Like, do you find it easy to allocate that around?
yeah, well, I don't actually take any. I've never taken any money out of my Amazon business for myself as of yet. I just I just keep it in there. So I still work part time as well. I work like 10 hours a week, so that's sort of like my spending money, I guess. And then I take the TikTok shop money and the faceless TikTok accounts as well. But I've never taken any money out of the Amazon business.
So you just want to keep building that up. Is that the goal for now?
Yeah, yeah. Just I don't see. I've got no reason to take it out at the minute, really. So just keep it in there until I need it. I think.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
now that you've finished uni, what are some things that you're looking to do? Like, do you have any sort of like goals that you've said, look, was once I finish uni, this is what I'm gonna do?
Yeah. So I've never had FBA like as a full time income. Like it's good. Like I'm doing sort of around average like about £1,000 a month profit probably. But like the last 2 months, I've only done like over the last 2 months, I've only done like 300 quid because I've not put any time into it. But now I've finished uni, I want to try and get it to a full time income. And I'm going traveling at the end of the year.
Yep.
So I want to have a lot of products ready. And then when I go traveling, you guys have just opened up a prep center as well. So when I go traveling, that's something I can use to keep money coming in while I'm traveling as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, and then I also want to, as I said, start putting more time into the TikTok shop videos and the faceless accounts as well. So I've got a lot of time on my hands now. I had myself locked in the house the last 2 months just doing uni work all the time. So yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, with so obviously, I take it you're very much looking forward to going traveling. Like, what kinds of places are you going to?
So I'm going starting with the typical really Southeast Asia, so like Thailand, Vietnam, or do Bali as well, I think.
Mhm.
So yeah, like Southeast Asia for like 3 months, I think is the plan, and then go to Australia after that. Um, just until I want to come home. Basically, I don't really have a. I'm not planning too much really, because I feel like with traveling you shouldn't plan too far ahead because you don't know what you're gonna like and what you're not gonna like. So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
And obviously, with you traveling for however long it is that you're doing that,
yeah,
um, are you feeling in any way, I know, like apprehensive about running your Amazon business remotely? Or are you completely chill with that? You're like, yeah, I don't know, because I know that you've got softwares to help you out and such. And then, as you say,
yeah.
using a prep center and such, like, are you just like, yeah, it's going to be chill. Like, I can travel and do Amazon at the same time. It'll be no problem.
Yeah, I think I may be being a bit naive, but I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I'll bring my laptop with me as well, so I can carry on. I can carry on sourcing and stuff. But my plan is to have. I'm gonna put as much time as I can in before I go. I'll be
Yeah.
going at the end of the year, so I want to just have as many products as possible,
Yeah.
and then I feel like I'll be fine. Yeah,
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's a bit like, I mean, it's a bit like with anything, like really, particularly, I mean, in this case, starting out with Amazon, the more hard work that you put in for a certain time period, it then like pays for itself in multiple
yeah,
senses. So, like, you doing all this now will mean that you don't have to do very much then, like when you're traveling, like you'll have
yeah,
all manner of products. You'll have a lot of it automated through software prep centers and so forth. And so really, I mean,
yeah,
this is what we were talking about earlier about like the misinterpretation of like the get rich quick and like everything that comes with selling on Amazon. It's not so much that, it's the fact that you can do things like this, that you can do your traveling, you can go to Thailand, you can go to
yeah,
Australia and you can still make money, and you don't have to worry about, oh, if I
Yeah,
take so much time away, I'm not gonna make anything, because with Amazon you can do it remotely, you can do it from anywhere, and like
yeah,
you've got
yeah,
bits and pieces to help automate it. Um,
exactly.
so yeah, I mean, you won't have
Yeah,
anything to worry about. So I mean, I take it that traveling is like the main sort of like goal for you, like for now, and then obviously
hmm
building up Amazon and so forth. Like, is there anything else that they have sort of like in mind? So like you do TikTok shop as well. Like, do you have any other sort of like routes that you want to explore in terms of making a digital income?
I mean, also it'd be the faceless TikTok accounts as well, which you can do that from anywhere.
Yeah.
Because once you've, it's just I said, once you've got the 10,000 followers, then you can, then you just it's every time you post a video, it just depends on how many views they get, but you'll be able to get money. And once you're like in Southeast Asia, for example, it's pretty cheap while you're there once you're there. So you don't have to be making too much digitally to be able to fund the traveling. So
Mm.
yeah, that's it. That's it really. Just TikTok and FBA, I think, unless someone else pops up. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And talking about sort of like automating processes and things like that, and obviously, as I say, I know that you use a variety of softwares to help you. One of
Mhm.
those is Profit Protector Pro, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how, since using that, obviously before Profit Protector Pro, did you ever have any experience with anything to do with repricing prior?
No, no, I
No.
didn't. I didn't even really like. I mean, I'd heard of them, but I'd never really thought about getting one
Yeah.
because I didn't. I didn't think they'd actually be that good, but they are that good.
And what's some of the things that you like about having one? Like, what's some of the big differences that you've noticed now that you have Profit Protector Pro and you're using it, compared to like not having one at all?
Well, I mean, obviously, the money that it makes you is
Yeah.
nice. And one of the things I like is I now don't have to check my listings every 20 minutes to make
Yeah.
sure some idiot has not undercut me. Because that used to happen all the time.
Yeah.
Every listing was just every 20 minutes you need to drop it by a pence. But obviously I don't have to do that anymore with match the buy box. What
Yeah.
buy box strategy does it for me.
Because I mean, without something like that, like you can't really actually clock off in a sense, because you'd always
Mm.
be thinking, I need to. I mean, I'm sure you'll testify to this as well. Like I'm sure you're always thinking like, oh, this listing, I need to check that. I need to change these prices.
Yeah,
You can work your way through. By the time you made it to the bottom of the list, you may end up having to go back to the top to
back
then like
to the
really
top.
do
Yeah,
something nuts. So like, was that how you found it before?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was a pain in the ass, but it was just there's just so many penny pinchers on Amazon, and they end up just ruining the listings. But
yeah.
Property Protect Pro helps with that, so it's not been much of an issue now.
So yeah, I mean, like in terms of like price tanking and stuff, like where I know that like that's a massive thing for like lots of sellers. But I mean, you
Mm.
having your setup now, like at this point, because you've been using it for quite a while now, like
Mhm.
the worry of like price tankers, is that pretty much gone at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really check my listings anymore at all, really.
Yeah,
I've kind of just gotten used to having Property Protect Pro do it for me. I mean, especially the last couple of months, I've not checked that at all.
yeah,
But other than on the Property Protector Pro website, sorry, but
yeah.
I've not been paying any attention at all to my listings, to be honest.
Just checking how much extra money it makes you.
Yeah, pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, I ask this to everyone that comes on, and I'm always really
Yeah.
interested to know the answer. Do you have a favorite repricing strategy, or do you use a mixture? And you don't really have a go.
Um, I'd say so. Say if it's a new listing, I'll always do the match the buy box first.
Yep.
But then if people are constantly trying to undercut, I'll then get a bit annoyed and go with the super aggressive dominator, I think it's called. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
yeah. That's my go-to if people are annoying me on listings. So
And then you'll end up annoying them, which is
yeah, yeah,
that's the way. That's what the aggressive is all about. So yeah, no, that's
exactly. Yeah.
no, it's great. It's cool as well that you have a mixture of two going on there. Like you've got the rule based sort of like one just matching the buy box straight up, and then when if things
Yeah.
aren't quite working out, you got people annoying you on the listing, you got your aggressive one,
Yeah.
to go in there and kick their ass basically. So yeah.
That's it.
Uh, yeah, no, that's that. It's really interesting. So, like, I find it really, as I say, I find it really interesting to know what everyone's favorite strategy is and like how they go about it.
Yeah.
Because like everyone has like different views on it. Just, I mean, it's the same with lots of other things to do with Amazon as well. Um, like no two of these interviews are the same. As everyone watching, you've
Yeah.
watched a few of these will know. But yeah, like the repricing strategy, everyone out there who's a super aggressive Dominator fan will be cheering for you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I love asking.
Is that a common favorite, is it?
I mean, I've heard all. I mean, I personally like the balanced one. That's just me. But yeah,
Right.
there's Holly, who people know on our team. She is like an advocate for the super aggressive dominator. She cheers about it. She screams its
Yeah.
name from the rooftops. Um, and nothing else in terms of strategies. Um, but yeah, the aggressive one is great. Other sellers say aggressive. Some of the other guests have said that they like the more profit focused ones, the more sort of like chill
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, for me, I like the balanced. People like the fact that you can make a custom strategy as well. Like you can make your own if
Yeah.
there's something specific you want it to do. See, I've heard all sorts, but I mean, it's just interesting to know. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know what time we're on now, but before we wrap up. Obviously, I'm going to
Uh-huh.
100% vouch for Ben's second TikTok channel, the Rebirth. Um,
Yeah,
it
the
is it
rebirth.
is great. It's to the point. It's snappy. You get all of the facts straight up. There's no sort of like dilly dallying. He just talks sense, and I 100%
Thank
vouch
you.
for his channel. So
Appreciate it.
if you just wouldn't mind sort of telling everyone where they can find you and follow you,
So I'm only on TikTok. It's Nebs Biz.
Neb's
So
biz.
NEBSBIZ. Yeah.
And we're going to link that in the description as well. Go ahead and give him a follow. Um, yeah, and hopefully this account doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I hope not.
And so before we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to say?
Start Amazon FBA, start TikTok shop. Start. If you're not already, start. Why not?
Yeah, told you straight to the point and straight up sense. So yeah, if you're actually looking to get started with Amazon, obviously, as we heard, Jack's Amazon Club has got a fantastic course that you can get involved with. However, if you're looking for something that saves you money, then try out the Arbiversity course, which is our free 7-day online arbitrage course. And there is a brand new Discord community that I've set up that you can join if you're an Amazon beginner. Um, there's a lot of resources in there as well, so you can basically chat, ask questions, meet other sellers that are at the same level as you, and we'll have some live training sessions as well. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. Other than that, um, feel free to watch all these interviews. They're all in one handy playlist on the YouTube channel. So if you want to flip through and watch some of the older ones, you can. And you can rewatch this one as many times as you want. So, yeah. Thank you so much, Ben, for having joined me.
No worries.
Um,
Thank you.
and as I say, I'm going to link his TikTok in the description below. Thanks once again for watching, and I'll catch you all soon.
Bye.